Hi, and welcome to BremSter Puzzles, a channel for showcasing the wonderful world of variant Sudoku and some of the logic and fun that can be found within them. Today I'm going to be showcasing a lot of different constraints with the puzzle called Second Breakfast by 99% Sneaky. 99% Sneaky tends to do some really interesting puzzles and has been showcased a few times on this channel. And this time, this puzzle contains the following constraints: XV pairs, Kropki pairs, maximum cells, arrows, killer cages, quadruples, Renban, and German whisper. Now, often when there's a lot of different constraints in a puzzle, it can cause the puzzle to be quite messy, but the hands of an experienced setter, it can often lead to some wonderful things. But in order for that to work, you kind of need to understand how all the constraints work. So it can be a little bit daunting for newer solvers, but it can be a lot of fun if you can really put it together well. So I will get on to how to cover all of these rules in a minute. Now, above you'll notice I'm not detailing all the rules, because if I was to put all the rules in the box above, the text would be so small it wouldn't be worth trying to read it there anyway. So the puzzle link, which is always below, as well as the video description, will contain all of the details of the puzzle. So you can look in the video description, or you can open the puzzle in the web browser and all of the rules will be detailed. I'm also going to explain them in detail. So if you're a bit worried about what's going on there, you can always look there to get the full details. So let's have a look at how these rules actually work. So we've got normal Sudoku rules. So that means just means that in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. XV pairs means that digits in cells that are separated by a V must sum to 5, and digits in cells that are separated by an X must sum to 10. Not all X's and V's need to be given. So it would be perfectly fine for these two digits to sum to 5 and these two digits to sum to 10. Now, there's a bit of a history as to why it's called pairs. Don't worry about that. You don't need to know it, but it's perfectly fine for other cells to sum to those numbers. Similar with Kropki pairs. Digits separated by a white dot must be consecutive, and digits separated by a black dot must be in a 1-to-2 ratio. One must be double the other. That's all that means. There's no restriction on other ones being placed, and some people will ask this question because when these constraints were first added to Sudoku, the first puzzles that were set with them did have a negative constraint, which means other cells could not have them unless the dots or the X's and V's were given. But when we get to the next one, which is a maximum cell, a digit in a cell with outward facing arrows, these ones, must be greater than all of its orthogonally adjacent neighbors. Now, no one would question that there may be other greater or maximum cells in the grid. It's only with these ones because of the history that people question it. So these cells must be greater than all of its orthogonally adjacent neighbors. By orthogonal, it means that it doesn't need to be greater than these, just the ones that the arrows are pointing to. Orthogonal means sharing an edge. What do we got? Arrows. Digits that are placed on an arrow, the sum of those digits goes into that arrow circle. So the sum of those two cells goes here. And the same will be true with those. The sum of those three cells will go here. We've got killer cages, which are these dashed cages. The sum of those digits must be 15. The sum of those digits must be 11. Quadruples. The circles are quadruple circles, or these circles. And these just mean that the digits in that circle must be placed in a cell that touches that circle. We've got Renban lines, which are these purple or pink lines, depending on how you want to say. It says purple in the rules. And what these lines must contain is a set of consecutive non-repeating digits in any order. So, for example, let's use this 3-cell line as an example. These could be 1, 2, 3. Because if you were to put 1, 2, 3, it wouldn't matter what order you put them in, then I'm breaking Sudoku, but I'm just explaining this rule. If you were to put these like this, 1, 2, 3, those are consecutive. If you were to take them off the line and sort them, they would be a run of digits. They could also be 4, 5, 6. That would be fine. They couldn't be 4, 5, 7 because 4, 5, 7 isn't a set of consecutive digits. And the last rule is German whispers. And the way German whispers works is they're really only connecting the neighbors. That's all you really have to worry about, although the line itself will provide a lot more constraint. But any two cells connected by a green line, they must have a difference of at least 5. That's all of the rules in the puzzle. You'll notice the only digit that is already placed in the puzzle is a 2. The rest is going to have to be determined by all of the constraints in the grid. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. You can try this puzzle on the link below. Let's give this a shot. So, the most obviously constrained thing to me is this circle. And the reason for that is with this 2 here, the minimum I can put into these cells is 1, 3, and 4. So, and it must contain a 1 and a 3. So there must be a 1 and a 3 here. Now, why is that? If I put 1, 3, 4 in here, the absolute minimum they could be, this would sum to an 8. But the maximum this could be is a 9. So this is an 8 or a 9. But if this was a 9, how would I do that? I'd have to increase one of those digits by 1 in order to make this a 9, because it's already at 8. If I increase the 1 by 1, I'd need to put a 2, and I can't do it. The 2's not available. And if I increase the 3 by 1, this would be 1, 4, 4, which doesn't work. So this is either 1, 3, 4 or 1, 3, 5. They're the only possibilities. Okay. So these are 4 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there must be a high digit on here that could interact with this. This is either 1, 4 or 2, 3, because these digits sum to 5. Now, there's no 2 here, so there's no 3 here. Now, this must be a high digit, or this is actually going to do something, because if this was a 1, this, in order to sum to 10, would have to be a 9. But if this was a 9, what would that be? It would have to either be half of 9 or double 9. Half of 9 would be 4 or 5. Double 9 would be 18. That can't be a 9, so that can't be a 1, and that can't be a 4. If this is 2, this would be an 8, and that would be a 4. So this would go 1, 4, 8, 4. That doesn't... Hang on, this is a 2. 1, 2, 8, 4. That could work, sorry. If this is a 2. If this is a 4, this is a 6. 1, 4, 6, and then this would be 3. So how's this going to work? Oh, this can't be a 6. If this was right, this is either 1, 3, this is 1, 3 because it can't be 2. And if this is 4, this would be 1, this would be 9, and it can't be. So these are these, but I can't, if this is a 4, this is a 6, and I can't put a 6 there because the 6 in this box has to be around the quadruple. This is 8, this is 2, 2 goes next to 3, 8, the only thing that is in a 1 to 2 relationship with 8 is 4 because the other option is 16, which I can't do. This has to be consecutive with 4, but can't be 3. This is 5. Now, this 15 cage. This is a bit more of an advanced trick, but I'm going to explain it after I've had a sip of coffee. So, a 15 cage. I know there is a 6 in this cage because a 3-cell 15 cage has a special property to it. There is a concept in Sudoku digits called entropy, which is or we've called it entropy, which is there are low digits, 1, 2, 3, middle digits, 4, 5, 6, and high digits, 7, 8, 9. And we call those digits of different entropy. A 3-cell 15 cage must have either a digit of each entropy or be all middle entropy, 4, 5, 6. And this can't be 4, 5, 6. So why is that? Because if I tried to make 2 digits of low entropy, then the maximum they could be would be 2 and 3, and the other digit would need to be a 10. If I tried to do 2 digits of high entropy, the lowest they could be would be 7 and 8, which is already 15, and the highest the other digit could be would be 0, and that doesn't work. So the maximum number of high digits I can have in it is 1. The maximum number of low digits I can have in it is 1. If I don't use, the only other possibility is to use more than one middle digit. And if I do that, then if I use any 2 middle digits, and I can't in this case, but if I use any 2 middle digits, then the other digit is automatically middle because 4, 5, and 6 adds to 15. So you may have to explore this a bit yourself, but it is a truth that this cage must be one of each entropy, which means it must contain a 6, which means I can't put the 6 in one of those 2. The 6 is in one of those 2. Now, there must be a 5 on this line, but the question is, I can't put a 2 on this line, so there must be a 6 on this line. There absolutely must be a 6 on this line. Because what could this be? I can't put a 2 on the line. because I can't put a 2 in any of those cells. So I can't put a 1 on this line either. Because if I put a 1 on a Renban line, it immediately becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can't put 1, 2, or 3 on this line. So this is either 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There must be on this line a 5, a 6, a 7 and an 8. So this is 6, 7 and 8 because there must be a 6, 7, 8 on this line and I can't put 6, 7 or 8 in those cells because 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if I start at 4 because I can't use 1, 2 or 3 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 all have 6, 7 and 8 on them and those are 6, 7 and 8. So these are from 4, 5 and 9 only. That's interesting. But I don't know which, well, one of them must be 5 because I must have a 5 on the line and then the other one is 4 or 9. So there's no 5 there. So there's a 1 in here. Am I doing this correctly? I don't know. Right. Now I've got another concept I want to talk about, which is German whisper lines. This would be really quick if you know all the rules and don't need to explain them, but I need to explain them, which is slowing me down a little here. So I think that has to be a 1, but I'll come back to that. So what's happening on a German whisper line? So you can never put a 5 on a German whisper line. Now, even ignoring this, I could never make this a 5. Why? Because the digit that is next to it must have a difference of at least 5. So to do that, you're either subtracting 5 or more or adding 5 or more. If I subtract 5 or more from 5, I'm at 0 or less. And if I add 5 or more, I'm at 10 or higher. It does not work. So I can never put 5 on a line, which means every digit on a line must be either below 5 or above 5. Now, if I make a digit below 5, the digit that's next to it can't also be below 5 because the maximum difference is 3. If I make a digit on a line above 5, I can't put another digit above 5 next to it. The maximum difference is 3. So whichever way they go, they will always alternate. Now I can use colors here and I know which way it's going to go. So I'm going to color this way. This will be one version of high or low. This will be the different one. This will be the back to the original because you can't have they must be either below 5 or above 5, which we call high-low, and this is different to entropy, which I used here. This must be back to yellow, and this must be blue. Whichever way they go, that's the way these must go. So because we are alternating the polarity. High-low we often call polarity. With these we were calling it entropy. There's a whole bunch of terms that you can learn. But these are the same. Because if this was low, it'd go low, high, low, high, low. And if it was high, it would go high, low, high, low, high. So these are the same. But the digits that are above 5 are only 6, 7, 8, and 9. And 6, 7, 8 are placed here. So if these were high, these would both have to be 9. And we can't put 2 9s in the same row or box. So these have to be low, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But we can't put 3 or 4 in those cells because 3 and 4 must be in those 4 cells by the quadruple. So these are actually 1 and 2. These are 6, 7, 8, and 9, and they can't be 6 because 6 has to be in here. Not seeing another restriction yet. This is 1, 2, or 3, and I'm not sure which way that's going either. There must be a 9 in one of those two because I can't put 9 on this line and I can't put 9 in any of those. This is the digit that is on here with the 9 is the digit that isn't placed on this arrow. So 1 and 3 must be on the arrow. So these are from 4, 5, 9, but must contain a 9. If this digit is low, I should look at this, but if this digit is low, it has to be 3 or 4. And it can't be 4 If this is 4, the only digit that is 5 away from 4 is 9, and that would have to be a 9, and it can't be. So this can't be a 4. If this is low, it's 3. And if it's high, it has to be 9 because it can't be 6, 7, 8. This is only 3 or 9. If this is, this could be any low digit though. This is only 3 or 9, but I can't see what to do with that because a 9 would allow that to be any of 1, 2, or 3. It couldn't be 4 because if this was a 4, because 9 is the only digit that can go next to 4, both of those would need to be 9. Let's look at these 4 digits. These are 1, 6, 7, and 9. This has to be greater than both of those. So it can't be 1. It can't even be 6 because if this is 6, these would not, maximum. Must be greater than. If this was 6, the minimum those could be 1 and 7, and one of them would be higher than that. So this can't even be 6. So this is 7 or 9. This can't be a 1, because if this was a 1, I'd need these two cells to sum to 1, and that doesn't work. Oh, this can't be a 6 either. 6 is in one of those two. Okay, where am I looking? There's 2 of 7, 8, 9 in this column already, which is going to put some pressure on that. Is it this now? I've got a 6 in this cage. 1, 2, 3, 4. There must be a 1. There must be a 2 or a 3 in it, because otherwise these all can't be 2 or 3. So if it's 2, 6, that's 8, and I'd need a 7. So it's either 2, 6, 7. If it's 3, 6, that's 9, and that doesn't work. If this was 3, 6, so I'll remove those again. If the 3 wasn't here, it would have to go in this 15 cage, and it would have to be 3, 6. And the other digit to get to 15 would be another 6, and this would be 3, 6, 6, and that doesn't work. This is the 3. Now, 3 can't go next to 7. The difference is only 4. So this is an 8, 9 pair. But now, this can't be a 9 because this is an 8, 9 pair. But the 6, where's the 2 in this box? It has to be in here with the 6. So this is 2, 6, which sums to 8. 15 minus 8 is 7. So this is 2, 6, 7. This is the 1, and there's no 1 here. Now, that actually hasn't forced this at all, but this is 6, 7, 9. This has to be lower than 7 or 9. Not particularly pressury. These digits, well, that's an 8, 9 pair now. I'm going to remove these colors. They've done their job. I like to remove the coloring. Using coloring to figure something out and then removing it when I'm done is something I like to try and do. This 1 is looking down, making that the 2 and that the 1, but this line's kind of done its job. Where's the 3 and the 4 in row 4? This is row 4, by the way, because row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. Where's the 3 and the 4? Because I can't put them in that cell. In fact, this cell is quite restricted. It can't be 1, 2. It can't be 3. It can't be 4 because the 4 is in here. It could be 5. It can't be, it can't be 5 because it sees a 5 here. So it can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or 6, 7, 8. That's a 9. Which means this is 8, which means this is 1, 3, 4. There's no 5 on this. This being 1, 3, 4 means there's no 4 here. This is 5, 9, but the 9 is looking across, making this the 3. This now, the only digits that are 5 or more away from 3 are 8 and 9, but the 9 is looking over here. This is 5, 9. If this is a 9, these would both have to be 5. That's the 8. This has to be a low digit that is 5 or more away from 8. 1, 2, and it can't be 3, and 4 is too close. So this is a 1 or a 2. The 2 makes this the 1. Taking 1 out of both of those, this is a 3, 4 pair, so that has to be the 1. Very cool. The 3, 4 pair here means neither of these cells can be 3 or 4, but I have to put 3 and 4 in those 4 cells. If then neither of them there, that's 3 and 4. These are 5, 6, and 7. There's no 5 there because 5 is in one of those two. Oh, and the 5 is looking down. That's not a 5 either. That's the 5. This is very cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. and 8. These digits here are 6, 7, and 9 to complete this row. But on a black dot, and I'll talk about this from first principles again, you can never put a high odd digit because a black dot must contain a digit that can double to another Sudoku digit. So 1 can double to 2, 2 can double to 4, 3 can double to 6, 4 can double to 8. 5 would need to double to 10, which doesn't work. So what you notice from that is when you double, you always hit an even digit. So you must always need a low digit and then it's even double. Now both digits could be low, 1 to 2, 2 to 4, or both digits could be even, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. But you can never put a high odd digit on the dot because there's no way of halving it and there's no way of doubling it. So 7 and 9 can never go here. This becomes the 6. The only 1 to 2 ratio within Sudoku digits with 6 is 3. It makes that the 7, which makes that the 9. Looking up saying this is not the 9. This has to be higher than this. If this was 7, this can't... This is so cool. This can't be 7 anymore because if this was 7, this would become 6, this would become 9, and this would be lower than this. Because if this is 7, this would be the only place I could put 9 in the row. 7, 9 breaks the maximum clue. That's the 9. Okay. Which puts 9 down here somewhere. Maybe. 4 is in, well, actually, I know what those two digits are because I've got 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 4 and 5, which means these are 2 and 7. This arrow is probably doing something. It could also be this Renban line, but I'm not seeing it yet. The 8 is looking up, making that the 9, which makes that the 8. This has to be higher than the other digits around it. The Renban also could be powerful. But I'm tempted to look at column 4 because I haven't placed 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. So 3 is in one of those two. But if this was 3, no, if this was 3, both of those would need to be lower than 3, which would mean they'd need to be 1 and 2, but I don't have one available. That's not the 3, that's the 3, which means this has to be consecutive with 3, which means it's either 2 or 4. Three is in one of these two cells. Because this 3 is knocking out those, that 3 is knocking out those, the 3 is looking down, knocking out those. So this 11 cage is a bit restricted now. Well, where's 2 in this column? These are 2, 5, 6, and 7. Now this can't be 2 because it has to be larger than those. So it's not 2. If this was 5, oh, that could be 2. 5 is in one of those two. This 5, 2, and these could be 6, 7, maybe. Yeah, I think that works. There's no 7 there by Sudoku. There's no 2 there by Sudoku. This 6, 7, oh, 2, 6, 7. Where's 6, 7 around here? This is actually the 6, 7 pair. Maybe it's that arrow. Because the maximum I can put on this arrow is a 5. Because they need to be lower than whatever that digit is. And I can't use a 6 either. So these are all from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this can't be a 1 or a 3. This one can't be a 2. So where's the 8 in here? The 8 is in one of those two. That doesn't feel like it, does it? If this is a 3, I need to put, it couldn't be 1, 2, 3 because that couldn't be 1 or 2. I'd need to put a 4 in one of those two. this can't be a 9. 9 is in one of those. If this is a 6, it's either 1, 5, which would be 1 and 5, or 2, 4, which would be 2 and 4. Not seeing a problem with that. This 9, 2, 8, 3, 7, 4, 5, 6. Well, I can't put 5 in this, and I can't put 3 in this, so it is actually a bit restricted. It could be 9, 2, but it'd have to be 9 and 2 in that order. It can't be 8, 3 because I can't put 3 in either cell. 7, 4 seems possible. Now, 5, 6 is not possible because I can't put 5 there or there. Can't put 5 there because of the 5 looking down. Can't put 5 there because of the quadruple. Oh, this can't be 2 either because of the quadruple. So this can't be 2. So this is a 4, 7 pair, taking 7 out of there, which means this needs to be lower than this. So this can't be 6 or 7. This could never have been 7. It needs to be lower than that. But this can't be 6 or 7. This is a 2 or a 5. 5, 6, 4, 7. Ooh, that seems really interesting, and I'm not seeing how to use it. Is it this now? If this was 1, 9, 1, 9 seems okay. It can't be 2, 8. So it could be 1, 9 like that, because it has to sum to 10. 2, 8 is not possible because I can't put 2 in either of them. 3, 7 is not possible. I can't put 3 in either of them. 4, 6. Well, I can't put a 6 there, so it would be 4 and 6. Is there a reason that doesn't work? 4, 6 would make 4, 7. So it would be 4, 7, 6, 4. I'm not seeing a problem jumping out at me. Okay. Oh, there's a 1 in one of those two for this box. So this isn't a 1. So this is a bit more restricted. The 1 is in one of these two. These are actually 1, 2, 4, 5. So where's 8 in this column? Yeah, where's 8 in this column? 8 has to be here. I can't put 8 in any of those because 8 would need 2 and it can't do it. 8 here would need 3 and I can't do it. I can't put 8 on a 3, 6. 8 here in this box doesn't work. 8 here doesn't work. That's the, oops, no. 8 has to be there. So these, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 7. This can't be a 7 because of that. Yeah, these are 1, 2, 4, 5. So there's a 3 in one of those two. Is it this arrow? Oh, yeah, that's not the 3. This is a 3. And if this is a 6, this would have to be 3, 3. That's a 7. That's a 6, which means this has to be 3, 4. I know there's going to be a lot of people solving this a lot faster than me. This has to be, right, what can this cell be? It can't be 1, it can't be 2, it can't be 3, it can't be 4, can be 5, can't be 6, 7, 8, or 9. That's the 5. This is a 1, 2 pair. The 4 looks across making that the 5. That's not the 5. So this is either 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And these are 1, 4, 9. The 5 is looking down, putting 5 in one of those two in this quadruple, which looks up and makes that the 4 and that the 5. The 7, not quite. Okay, something else. I'll get there eventually, maybe, probably. Stranger things have happened. This also has to be larger than those. So these are only from 1 to 5, because this has to be larger than those as well. And this can't be 4 or 3 or 5. This is a 1 or a 2. This strange things are going on. This has to be more powerful than I'm giving it credit for, right? This can't be a 4 because of the 4, 7. So I've got to put 8 and 9 in here. I can't put them there. I can put one of them there. So there's an 8 or a 9 in here. But okay, trying to force this line. Can that be a 1? No. That can't be a 1, but that could be, and that could be. Okay, I've missed the plot. What have I missed? 5 is in here. 2 is in here. 1 is in one of those. 3 is in one of those. It's got to be this line, doesn't it? So this is 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. If this is 9, this line becomes 9, 8, 7. And then 8 would go there. That would be the 7. And I'm not seeing a problem with that. Is it what that digit can be? If this is a 4, oh no, that's not it. 4 makes that 7, that 6, and that 7. 2, 4, 3. That all seems okay. 8 is in one of those two. Because I can't put 8 in here or here, and that's a 1 or a 2, because it has to be lower than that. 9 in this box is in one of those two. Is it this quadruple? 2, 7, 8, 9. These are 2, 7, 8, 9. So 2, 7, 8, 9 is what these are. This can't be a 7 because the 4, 7 is looking at it. This can't be a 2 because the 2 is in one of those cells. That doesn't seem to be it either. 6 is in one of those. 5 is in one of those. This... Oh, this 3 is looking down, making that the 4 and that the 3. So where is 4 and 7 in this box? Because these can't be 4 or 7. Because the 4, 7 is knocked out of there. That can't be 4 or 7 because of... I got there somehow. This can't be 7. It can't be 4, and it can't be 7 because it needs to be lower than this. So there's no 4, 7 in there. There's no 4, 7 in there. This can't be 4 or 7 because of the way the x works. This can't be 9. This is the 9 because this is a 4, 7 pair. The 9 looks up making this the 6, which makes that the 2, which makes that the 7, which looks out making that the 6, which makes this the 5, which means this has to be lower than 5. The 5 makes that the 2, which makes that the 1. That was really clever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are 6 and 8. Okay, the 9, of course, makes that the 1, which looks up making that the 2, which makes that the 1. The 2 looks back making that the 7 and that the 2. The 7 looks down making that the 4, that the 7, which makes that the 4. 4 is now one of those. That's not it. But there's no 4 here anymore. So this can't be the 3. Because if this is the 3, the run of digits doesn't get me to 6, 7, 8, or 9. 3, 4, 5 is as high as I could get. So this isn't the 3. This is the 3. Which looks up making that the 4, making that the 3. The 4 looks up saying that's not the 4. 2 in this column. Actually, I've had that for a while. I may have just got that 2. Where's 2 in this column? It has to go there because it can't go in any of those cells. That 2 sees that, and that's a 3. That's the 2, saying this isn't the 2. In fact, oh, yeah, I could have taken the 2 out of here a while ago from that. This is actually the 7, 8, 9 triple, and these are 2, 5, and 6. There's no 2 there. There's no 5 there. There's no 2 there. That's the 2. This couldn't be... and the 2, 5 pair on the quadruple makes that the 5 and that the 6. The 6 looks across making that the 8, making that the 6. This isn't the 8. There's no 7 there. There's no 9 there. So that's that triple. Very cool. There's no 8 here. There must be a 1 in one of those two by the row. But I can't put 1 here because I need to get as high as 6 and I can't do it. There's no 1 here. This is the 1. This is now 6, 7, or 9. And I need to connect those. So if this was 7, 9, that would need to be an 8. If this is 6, 7, this would need to be 5 or 8. This is always an 8. Which looks up saying that's not an 8. That's a 6, 7 pair. The 1 is looking up saying that's not a 1. So this is 4, 5, 9 in order to complete this column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 9. So this is 4, 5, 9, and there's a 5 and a 9 already. That's the 4, looking up making that the 9. So that's the 1, that's the 4. This is now 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 9 looks down making that the 5, that the 9. There's no 9 there. That's a 6, 7 pair, so that's the 8. There's no 8 there. The 8 looks across making that the 9, which makes that the 7, which makes that the 8. The 7 makes this the 6, and I've broken the puzzle. Blast, because I need to connect the 6 and the 8, which means a 7, and I don't have it. This has become a 9, and this is broken. So where did I go wrong? So much for this being an easy puzzle. This is correct. So I went wrong on the logic here. And the way I tested that, by the way, and I know I've gone overboard on this one, and the problem is trying to explain all of the rules in a puzzle when there's all of these rules interacting and how the logic interacts kind of breaks your brain. The explanation really slows it down. So if you click the tick mark over in the solving grid, it will tell you whether the digits you've entered are correct. And I don't want to have to give up on this and not have this come out. So this can't be a 1 because of the 1 here. I can't put 1 in any of those. This 1 is looking across. So this has to be the 1. This is a 4, 9 pair. I may have done a typo somewhere. That is also an incredibly common thing to do. There's no 5 in those. There's no 5 in those, although that could... here's where I've gone wrong. I've pencil marked all of this wrong. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 5, 7, and 9. But I can't put 5 and 9 on a line together because 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 doesn't work. So there must be a 5 in here. So there's no 9 in here. This is the 9. This is the 8. This is the 7. To connect 5 and 7, that becomes a 6. I went wrong on this line somewhere. I think I pencil marked this row wrong. So 5, 6, 7. The 6 looks up making that the 7 and that the 6. There's no 7 or 6 here. That's the 8. These are not the 8. The 6 makes that the 7 and that the 6. The 7 looks down making that the 5 and that the 7. The 5 looks up making that the 9 and that the 5. So this column is missing 4 and 9, and there's a 9 looking across. That's the 4, that's the 9, that's the 4. This box is now just missing 8 and 9, and I can use either that 8 or that 9 to make that the 9 and that the 8, and that is the correct solution to the puzzle. So this puzzle's had 1,700 solves, so it's possible this has been seen on another YouTube channel. You could possibly figure that out. I'm not sure. I did like the puzzle, so you could possibly do a YouTube search for Sudoku second breakfast and maybe find out if another solver has solved this one. I'm not... Other solvers solve puzzles, and they may have not gotten confused here. They may have got a different way of explaining the rules or anything. It's worth looking and seeing if you could figure that one out. And maybe you'll find someone who you think does a different way of explaining that is more suited to the way that you think. That is always worth checking out. Any Sudoku channel that turns around and is like, we are the only ones who do this. Yeah, I don't know why that would be a thing. There are definitely some ones in other languages that were definitely catering to people who use different languages. I only speak English. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was really, really cool. I like this puzzle. 99% sneaky. That was, again, quite sneaky. But I love the way that these constraints interact. For newer solvers, it can be a little bit daunting trying to understand how all of the constraints work. So hopefully the explanation helped. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I really enjoyed this puzzle. I hope you did as well. And as always, good luck with your solving.